my name is Nancy Brown. I'm the Community Preparedness Program Manager for Sonoma County's Department of Emergency Management. And today we're here to talk about planned power outages, or as PG&E calls it, public safety power shutoffs. So what is a public safety power shutoff? Under certain conditions, PG&E may choose to turn the power off in order to avoid any of their lines sparking a wildfire. The conditions in which a public safety power shutoff may be called include a red flag warning. The National Weather Service declares a red flag warning under certain conditions, which include humidity of lower than 25%, sustained winds of higher than 20 miles per hour with gusts of higher than 45 miles per hour. Other factors that may cause a red flag warning to be declared include the conditions of dry fuel on the ground. Additionally, PG&E looks at observable conditions by their personnel when inspecting power lines. So what can you do? First of all, assume this will happen to you sometime in the summer or fall, and that you will indeed experience a power outage, and get ready for it. Be sure that you are signed up at PG&E for notification of power outage. If you have equipment in your home that you rely upon for medical reasons, you can also sign up with PG&E's Medical Baseline Allowance List. This list allows PG&E to recognize your medical dependency and be sure that they reach out to you in a number of different ways to make sure you are aware if a power outage is imminent in your area. Make sure that you are signed up for SoCo Alert. Consider adding a NOAA weather radio to your emergency supplies. A NOAA weather radio utilizes radio bands in order to notify you of emergencies. This is very different than our typical ways, which utilize the cable and cell systems, which can also be compromised in an emergency that requires a power shutoff. Plan in advance for what you might need to get through a few days without power. If you may need assistance because of a power outage, reach out to your friends, your family, and your neighbors now so that they can be ready to lend a hand should the power go out. If you know somebody who may need assistance in a power outage, reach out to them now so that you can be part of their plan. Make sure that you have extra power sources for your cell phone, have batteries for your flashlight, have backup power for any medical devices you might need. This is how you're going to get through a planned power outage. Consider keeping less perishable food in your refrigerator and freezer during this time. This will be very important should your power be out for a number of days and you would end up having to throw out all that food. Try not to have more food than you can eat through in a day or two that's highly perishable. Make sure you have cash on hand. Cash is critical when the power's out because many businesses are unable to take credit card payments. Be sure to stay informed. This is critical. Make sure that you know where you can turn to get news on a regular basis for the entire late summer and fall. Be sure that all of your emergency supplies are ready to go should the worst happen. Not all red flag warnings will become power shutoffs, but the red flag warning is indeed your very first opportunity to be sure to be ready. Remember, a red flag warning is issued when the conditions for a wildfire are ideal. This is your notice that things could be changing and to be sure that you're ready to go. If you typically keep your car in the garage, consider keeping it out of the garage during any red flag warning. During a power outage, your electrical garage door will not open and you will have to use your manual opening device. Very often we go ahead and shut our cell phone off at night, but during a red flag warning, keep it on, charged, and next to you the whole time the warning is issued. If PG&E has notified you of an imminent power outage in your area, now is the time to put your plan into action. Remember, traffic signals will be out in many areas. When you come to an intersection and there's no traffic signal working, that's always considered a four-way stop. If you have friends and relatives in other areas not affected by the power outage, this could be a great opportunity to go and visit them. If you've chosen to use a generator, please follow all the generator instructions and be very careful when you're refilling fuel that you let your generator cool completely down so as not to spark a fire in your own area. When you're using a generator, be sure to be cognizant of exhaust and noise and your neighbors. A plan for a power outage can help you and your family avoid great disruption. You can get more information at socoemergency.org by downloading this brochure and reading more about it. Work together with your family and your neighbors to consider what you will do should your power need to be turned off.
Public service power outages are a part of our life in Sonoma County. And so one of the things you ought to do is, as part of preparation, not only pack your go bag, but be ready for a PSPS shutoff. There are several things you can do, one of which is open your garage doors before the shutoff. That way you don't have to try to remember how to open your doors without electricity. A second thing you want to do is you want to park your car nose out. You don't want to be backing up. You want to do the easiest thing, which is to drive straight out. A third thing, if you have medical devices that require power, you want to make sure that you have spare batteries or some method of charging your system so that when you evacuate, or you can even remain in place, but still have power to that breathing apparatus or whatever that equipment is. Those are three things you can do to prepare yourself for a PSPS outage.
For power outages, I learned and purchased a solar charger and generator. And for emergency preparedness plan, I look into socoemergency.org and Listos, California to follow their guidelines. I invite you to download one of their disaster guides and get prepared.
If you have your power shut off, one of the things to remember is that if you have any health issues, if you're someone who maybe has an electric wheelchair, maybe has asthma, so you have a machine that helps you breathe, or you have even a CPAP machine, something like that, you can be on the medical baseline program with PG&E, and that'll help save costs for you when you have issues, and they give you an early warning sign when the power is going to be shut off.
Public safety power shutoffs, which we've been experiencing the last few years, are very disruptive. One of the things we did for that was we bought a dual fuel generator, because we've always got propane around the house because we have a propane gas grill. And we don't like liquid gasoline around the house that can be spilled and it goes stale and everything. So the dual fuel allows us to go on propane when we're at home, and if anything goes wrong and all we can get is liquid gas, we're still good.
In 2017, our cell phones in our area stopped working, we don't have cable. We had to actually go in the car and turn it on to get updates. And then we decided to kind of leave the areas so that we could stay informed. So back in 2017, we didn't have this guy. It's a crank radio. And kind of having a conversation with the kids and kind of trying it out and see how it works, and the importance of staying, having updated information. It's kind of cool having that conversation as a family. It also has a flashlight and it's solar powered. So a cool little thing